Today's news highlights. Date February 18, 2025. News highlights: BYD's official entry into the South Korean electric vehicle market has raised price competition and safety concerns in the local auto industry. The price of the Atto 3 is lower than that of its competitors, prompting South Korean automakers to cut prices and explore increasing local subsidies. South Korean society is worried that BYD's connected vehicles may leak personal information, and the technical safety is questioned. Many countries around the world have also imposed tariffs and subsidies on China's electric vehicles to prevent dumping at low prices and information security risks, and the United States has banned the sale of Chinese connected car-related products to ensure national security. News highlights: the Controller and Auditor's Office of the Executive Yuan released the 2024 salary statistics of employees, with a real recurrent salary increase of 0.58% year-on-year, a new high in 4 years. Real gross salary increased by 2.16% year-on-year, the largest increase in 6 years. The average recurrent salary was 46,450 yuan, an annual increase of 2.77%, the largest increase in 25 years. The average total salary was 60,984 yuan, an annual increase of 4.39%. The finance and insurance sector saw the highest salary increase, with a total salary increase of 9.27% year-on-year. Driven by AI, the electronic component manufacturing industry has become an important industry, and employee salaries rank second in Taiwan. News highlights: Communist Party of China leader Xi Jinping presided over a symposium on private enterprises in Beijing on the 17th, and Ma Yun and other business bigwigs appeared, causing concern. Outside analysts believe that the CCP is facing economic difficulties and intends to win over private enterprises, but the risks are intensifying, and it may be difficult to win the trust of the industry. The news of the symposium failed to boost Hong Kong stocks, with the Hang Seng Index eventually falling slightly by 4 points, while mainland A shares closed up in shock. News highlights: U.S. President Donald Trump raised steel and aluminum import tariffs to 25% and removed multi-country exemptions, returning the global steel industry to head-to-head competition. For Taiwan, the fact that it does not enjoy exemptions in the first place has reduced competitive pressure and brought about a positive effect. Taiwanese steel stocks are encouraged in the short term, and companies such as Sino Steel and Daqin Steel have attracted much attention, and the market is optimistic about global reconstruction business opportunities and steel demand growth. However, the rising cost of raw material imports is still a variable, affecting the actual benefit of enterprises. News highlights: the yen has continued to rise this year, becoming the strongest Asian currency, mainly because the Bank of Japan is expected to raise interest rates, but the pace is slow, and inflation and spring wage increases will become key. The market predicts that the Bank of Japan will raise interest rates as soon as June and July, and the policy rate can reach 1% by the end of the year. The convergence of interest rate differentials between the United States and Japan has helped the yen to stabilize, but in the short term, it will still fluctuate greatly due to the impact of U.S. policies. Experts suggest that investors can take advantage of the short-term depreciation of the yen to exchange currency, and it is estimated that the yen will fluctuate in the range of 150 to 158 against the dollar in the first half of the year, and may rise to 145 by the end of the year. News highlights: according to Global Views magazine, companies still prefer top university graduates because of their ability to learn and adapt. However, non-top college students still have a chance to stand out, and the key points are the following 5 points. 1. Accumulate overseas exchange or study abroad experience to enhance international vision and language ability. 2. Apply for graduate schools of prestigious universities to improve the competitiveness of academic qualifications. 3. Participate in community cadres and cultivate leadership and teamwork skills. 4. Publish excellent graduation topics and demonstrate professional strength. 5. Build a personal portfolio to enhance your job search advantage. If you master these elements, you can enter the ideal company even if you are not a top student. News highlights: on the 17th, Taiwan stocks rose 352 points to close at 23,505 points, an increase of 1.5%, and regained the 5-day line. Foreign investors resold to buy. TSMC ADR rose 1% to encourage the stock market. The legal person is optimistic about the first quarter, believing that it is easy to rise and difficult to fall, and there will be themes such as the Nvidia GTC conference and MWC exhibition in March. TSMC's share price rose 25 yuan to close at 1,085 yuan, and the weighted stocks generally rose strongly. The three major legal persons bought more than 32.88 billion yuan, and the net short orders of foreign futures decreased significantly, boosting market confidence. The outlook for Taiwan stocks remains positive. News highlights: TSMC surged 81% last year, with a market value of 27.8 trillion yuan, attracting a number of life insurance financial holdings to increase their weight. Fubon Gold holds 141,000 shares, with a market value of 152.6 billion yuan, making it the largest shareholder. Cathay Gold held 84,000 pieces, with a market value of 91 billion yuan, a decrease from the previous period. Kai Fund increased to 41,000 shares, with a market value of 44.1 billion yuan. Shinkong Gold significantly reduced its holdings in the second quarter, but the subsequent market value of its holdings rebounded to 74.9 billion yuan. The four major life insurance financial holdings have adopted a total return strategy, heavily bet on TSMC, and actively adjust their equity allocation. News highlights: in response to US President Trump's 10% tariff, Acer Chairman Chen Junsheng revealed that he will raise the price of affected products, and it is expected that the price of mainland-made laptops will increase from March. Brands such as Asus, Dell, and HP may also follow suit. Acer plans to move some of its production to non-mainland regions and even consider manufacturing in the US to reduce the impact of tariffs. Acer's share price closed at 39.55 yuan yesterday, up 0.15 yuan. News highlights: the Ministry of Finance reminds that when filing comprehensive income tax, the reporting of dependents must comply with the requirements to avoid misunderstanding of the law. Minor children or siblings may be reported, and adult relatives must meet the conditions of schooling, physical or mental disability or inability to earn a living. Inability to earn a living is determined according to physical disability, serious illness, etc., and unemployment is not counted. If there is income from dependent relatives, it must also be declared. Finally, it is important to coordinate within the family to select the most favorable dependents to ensure compliance and avoid back taxes. News highlights: S&P Global released the 2025 Global Sustainability Yearbook, and 70 companies from Taiwan were selected, covering a variety of industries such as semiconductors, electronic components, and games. High-tech manufacturing is still dominant, the gaming industry is logged in for the first time, and Tangerine Group becomes the first company to be selected. Sinosteel actively promotes carbon reduction plans and strengthens the application of renewable energy. EVA Air and China Airlines are committed to promoting sustainable aviation by using sustainable aviation fuel, SAF, to reduce carbon emissions. News highlights: violent storms hit the eastern United States, killing at least 9 people, 8 of them in Kentucky. Storms bring flooding and strong winds, causing trees to fall, power outages, and traffic accidents. The Kentucky governor said the death toll could rise and declared a state of emergency. Atlanta also had 1 death. The U.S. Electric Power Monitoring website reported that more than 500,000 customers were without power. Extremely cold weather is expected this week, with temperatures likely to drop to -51 degrees in some areas. News highlights: UMC founder CAO Xing Cheng was recently exposed by media person Xia Hanbing, accusing him of having a Chinese affair and exposing a number of intimate photos. In this regard, CAO Xing Cheng issued a statement emphasizing that the photos were forged and would file a claim against the disseminator for compensation. Zhang Yigan, a former member of the Central Committee of the People's Party, used ChatGPT to analyze the photos and found that the photos may have been synthesized or retouched by AI, and teased Xia Hanbing, saying, "Rumors, come out and face it." He joked that it made him envy CAO Xing Cheng's figure. News highlights: idol drama male god Hu Yue and supermodel Chen Tingni have been married for 2 years, and they have succeeded in love and career. Recently, Hu Yue was directly attacked to appear in Taipei Binjiang fishing market in the style of a college student to buy ingredients, wearing Puma long sleeves, sports shorts, Nike slippers, and a JanSport backpack, like a 20-year-old college student. He carried a basket of vegetables to carefully select sea and land ingredients, and took out a Gucci wallet to pay more than 4,000 yuan in cash at the checkout. Hu Yue usually likes to cook, and this time he bought vegetables not for Chinese New Year's Eve, but for daily purchases. News highlights: 11 major US and Canadian banks have withdrawn from the Net Zero Banking Alliance, a move influenced by Trumpism, which has long been delaying concrete climate action. Although 135 financial institutions are still in the alliance, the future of the alliance is unknown. A Moral Bank believes that the exit of Bank of America will instead provide more room for other members to act. Moreover, the bank's stance on fossil fuel financing shows that their climate commitments are inadequate. News highlights: CAO Xing Cheng recently attracted attention because of the revelation that he was suspected of having a Chinese junior, and Su Qiaoxin retorted that CAO Ying first explained the private morality controversy. Wen Langdong, a famous mouthful, broke the news that Su's husband Liu Yanli played Texas Hold'em on work days, questioning whether he had asked for leave. Liu responded that he participated in legal competitive tournaments and took leave to participate in them in accordance with regulations, emphasizing that the tournaments were not gambling and that the chips were scoreboard scores, and that he would review whether to continue to participate in such competitions. News highlights: Hou Yujun recently clarified the drama conflict with Chu Xian, explaining that because of projecting his own experience in the play, he lost control of his emotions and injured Chu Xian with excessive force. The two had a 1-minute fierce fight, and the film was made public by Lu's Haihan, showing the scene of the two women scuffling and grabbing each other's hair. Hou Yujun emphasized that he was not aware of the other party's injury at the time, and said that the actors are all professional in order to show emotional depth, and praised the professionalism of all the actors in the play. News highlights: at least 15 people were injured when a Delta Airlines flight overturned while landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport in Canada, causing the fuselage to completely turn upside down. The accident may be related to snow and slippery runway and is pending investigation. The Minneapolis flight, which had 80 passengers and crew, was safely evacuated after the accident. Emergency responders are dealing with the scene and have confirmed that all personnel are safe. News highlights: the weather will change significantly with the influence of the cold air mass, and today, 18th, Taiwan's moisture will increase, especially on the north coast of Keelung, Yunnan, and the mountainous areas of Greater Taipei. There may be heavy rain, and the temperature in Taiwan will be cooler. From Friday, 21st, a stronger cold air mass will move south again, causing the temperature to plummet, and it will be the coldest from late Sunday night to early Monday morning, and the temperature may fall below 10 degrees Celsius in some areas. People should pay attention to strong gusts of wind, low temperatures, and rainfall, and prepare warm and rain gear in advance. News highlights: Chen Yangzi and Chen Xiao ended their 9-year marriage. The two got married in 2016 because of the Condor Heroes, and there have been many rumors of marriage changes. At noon on the 18th, they simultaneously announced their divorce on social media, writing, "Grateful to have met, and we will be well in the future," and tag each other. There have been many divorce rumors in the past, and Chen Xiao did not attend his father-in-law's farewell ceremony in December last year, which caused speculation from the outside world. News highlights: artist Wang Delo was investigated for obstructing military service. On the 18th, the new Taipei District Prosecutor's Office instructed the Criminal Bureau to search his home, seize relevant evidence, and bring him back to make a record, which is expected to be sent to the new Taipei District Procuratorate for reinterrogation in the afternoon. Wang Delo became popular with the 2015 movie My Girlhood, and in recent years, the focus of development has shifted to the mainland. It is understood that more than 10 people are involved in this case, and it is suspected that the doctor forged a medical certificate to evade military service, and the details of the case are still pending further investigation. News highlights: an accident occurred in Takeo Hot Spring in Fukushima City, Japan. 3 hotel employees lost contact after entering the mountain to manage the source yesterday, 17th, and the police searched and rescued this morning, 18th, and found 3 people lying down in the snow, and they were confirmed to have died. Japanese media reported that the concentration of hydrogen sulfide at the scene was high, and it was judged that the 3 people may have died due to inhalation of toxic gases. Takeu Onsen, located at the foot of Mt. Izuma, is famous for its sulfur springs, and the accident highlights the potential dangers of source maintenance work. News highlights: Taiwan's baseball boom is burning. The documentary The Road to Champions Team Taiwan opened today at Tianmu Baseball Stadium and is expected to be released early next year. Director, Long Nan. Isaac Van Yossi will present the top 12 championship process with a high standard, and go to the United States and Japan to collect materials. Cai Kikang, president of the secondary vocational school, said that the documentary not only records the players' struggles, but also shows the logistics contribution. The director admitted that the challenge was huge, but he was confident that he would complete it and let the world see the glory of Taiwanese baseball again. News highlights: Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a television interview on the 17th that he refused to cede the territory of Ukraine occupied by Russia, stressing that "we will take it all back." He accused the United States of trying to please Russia in negotiations on the Ukraine issue and expressed concern about Europe's military strength. Zelensky pointed out that Europe will be vulnerable if it cannot rely on US security protection, and although Ukraine has become more resilient, Ukraine will certainly not win without US support. In addition, U.S. Secretary of Defense Hegseth has ruled out the possibility of U.S. troops sending troops to Ukraine. News highlights: Chen Wenqian, a veteran media person, suffered from stage 4 melanoma Laos cancer, and after 1 year of immunotherapy, her condition has recently deteriorated, with the number of tumors increasing to nearly 10, and myocarditis was diagnosed during the Spring Festival. She shared photos of her hospital bed, revealing that the side effects of the treatment, such as bitter taste and dehydrosis, are still optimistic, humorously mocking herself for the growth rate of tumors faster than obesity. Netizens left messages to cheer up, and she responded easily. The canned peaches have been upgraded, showing a strong and optimistic attitude. News highlights: Japan's Tokyo Customs recently seized a 28-year-old accountant surnamed Xia who settled in Taiwan, attempting to smuggle about 22 kilograms of coca into the country, with a market value of about 550 million yen, about NT $113 million. The man flew from Canada to Tokyo's Haneda Airport and customs found 22 snack boxes in his suitcase, each containing about 1 kilogram of drugs. Xianan denied committing the crime, claiming that he was entrusted with the purchase of dim sum. Tokyo Customs has determined that the case is related to an international smuggling syndicate and will step up its investigation to prevent Japan from becoming a target for drug smuggling. News highlights: Chinese actress Zhou Yangqing broke up with Luo's Hixiang in 2020 and her relationship has attracted much attention. Recently, she was witnessed interacting intimately with a tall man, and a new relationship was rumored. In this regard, she admitted that she was dating a doctor of physics and getting to know each other, but she had not yet formally communicated, and her attitude was generous. Fans blessed her one after another, saying that she deserves to be happy. News highlights the release of Grok 3 may drive AI server-related concept stocks, including TSMC, Quanta, Wistron, etc. In addition, hardware factories such as Chassis Cooling may also benefit, such as Honhai, Inventec, Asus, etc. However, the final impact will still depend on the training cost of Grok 3, which could have a negative impact on the market if the cost is too low. News highlights actor Wang Delo was arrested by the Criminal Police Bureau and the Yonghe Police Bureau under the command of the new Taipei District Prosecutor's Office this morning for obstruction of military service and forgery of documents, and relevant evidence was seized. Wang Delo's residence is located in Da'an District, Taipei City, and the police carried out a search and brought him back for investigation, and the case is still under investigation, and other suspects involved in the case have not been ruled out. Wang Delo became popular as the leading actor in the movie My Girlhood, and in recent years, he has mainly focused on Chinese acting. News highlights in the face of the Chinese threat, strengthening China's national defense has become a top priority. According to Reuters, the Taiwanese government is planning to buy billions of dollars worth of weapons from the United States, including shore defense cruise missiles and the M142 Hippocampus multiple launch rocket system. The arms purchase, which is intended to demonstrate Taiwan's determination to defend, could range from $7 billion to $10 billion. Taiwan will also propose a special defense budget, focusing on precision munitions, air defense upgrades and other projects. The U.S. side did not respond immediately, but National Security Advisor Waltz has said that it will speed up the delivery of weapons to Taiwan. News highlights Akio Yaita recently proposed a debate between Su Kioxin and CAO Xing Cheng, but Su Kioxin asked to explain CAO Xing Cheng's private morality and questioned his controversy in China. Subsequently, current affairs commentator Wen Langdong exposed a photo of Su Kioxin's husband Lu Yanli playing Texas Hold'em during work hours on Facebook, and criticized her for caring too much about other people's private affairs, but not about her husband's behavior. Wan Langdong pointed out that the card-playing hall may be related to fraud, and questioned whether Su Kioxin should also deal with her husband's behavior when she cared about others. News highlights according to the latest statistics, about 1.87 million people will receive labor insurance old age pensions every month in 2024, with an average monthly pension of 19,344 yuan, 520 yuan more than the 18,824 yuan in 2023. Although 8,269 people received more than $40,000 per month, about 54% of the recipients received less than $20,000 per month, and nearly 180,000 of them received less than $10,000 per month. By gender, the average monthly payment for men is $20,683, higher than that for women $18,226, with a difference of $2,457. News highlights Huang Yuisui, a 78-year-old writer of two genders, has been in poor health in recent years, and recently revealed that he has been suffering from insomnia, ear hearing loss and shoulder tendinitis, and after a long delay in his condition, he has become deaf in his right ear with a murmur. She humorously said that she did not treat her illness in order to avoid wasting national resources. The doctor told her that it would be difficult to recover her hearing even if she had surgery or injection, and Huang Yuisui faced it calmly and said that if she made a loud noise in the future, please be considerate of her physical handicap. News highlights actor Kei Zhendong recently fell into grief due to the death of his dog Max, and announced that he would suspend work for a period of time to adjust his emotions. He shared the good time he spent with Max on social platforms, and emotionally said that he was like a character in the anime Buried Frillian, and he regretted and reluctantly felt the loss of his dog. 4 days later, Kei Zhendong returned to social platforms to convey positive energy, saying that he had come out of the pain and thanked fans for their support. He also shared that he had asked ChatGPT about the lifespan of his dog breed and said that he had done his best to make Max live a long life, which was gratifying. Fans also left messages of encouragement and shared their stories with their pets. News highlights Fang Zihu appeared at the hair brand press conference today, which was the first public appearance since recovering from a fall last year. She shared that she was a little scared to wear high heels back and was about to go to Hong Kong to shoot a new film, and her children were taken care of by her husband Yung Mingwei. Talking about marriage, Fang Zihu revealed that Yang Mingwei often joked about divorce, which made her not care much about it from the beginning to later, and reminded him not to say it easily. News highlights Liu Qiuan was recently arrested in the United States and was involved in a number of crimes, including fraud and drugs. She absconded to the United States in 2019 and stayed illegally, during which she continued to commit crimes, and even sent nearly 1.5 kilograms of cocaine back to Taiwan. She was exposed to lying and defrauding on a number of occasions, including claiming to be her father Liu Taeyong and defrauding money. She has cooperated with friends to defraud, and even involved many people, and claimed to be dating rich husbands. After being arrested, he once ran a joint venture with his friend Li Ting Ai, which eventually became a scam. News highlights artist Wang Delo was arrested by the police at his residence in Da'an District, Taipei City this morning, 18th, on suspicion of evading military service and forging documents. After receiving the report, the prosecutor carried out the investigation commanded by the New Taipei Procuratorate and arrested 10 people. Wang Delo cooperated throughout the process, which lasted about 1 hour, and was taken away after the police explained the cause of the case. Wang Delo became popular for starring in My Girlhood in 2015, and his remarks at the 2016 South Korean Mama Awards ceremony attracted attention. Police are currently conducting an investigation and plan to transfer him to the New Taipei District Prosecutor's Office for re-questioning. News highlights the second season of the public television music program Seafood No. 61 invited Peina to share his music creation with Goodnight Fisher this week. Although the host Chu Yangxiang is well known to the audience for his role as Mr. Chuanlian, when he first served as the host, he found that his Taiwanese pronunciation still needed to be strengthened, and each episode of filming became a Taiwanese lesson. Benai shared the creative process of his Golden Melody Award-winning album Night Woman, revealing that the album took 14 years to complete, and repeated attempts with his friend K's Hai Hao before finally handing over the positive version. News highlights 47-year-old actress Ho Yoo-jun and her husband Xiao Delo have been married for 3 years, and they have become a topic of conversation because it was revealed that female employees of TV stations intervened. Ho Yoo-jun, who recently returned to the 8 O'Clock File, played the scene of beating the junior in the drama Good Luck Come, but he was suspected of being too deep in the play, and had a real fight with actor Chu Xian, which shocked the on-site personnel and high-level management. Ho Yoo-jun explained in a late night, saying that this kind of drama was a challenge to the actors, and emphasized that everyone was fully engaged at that time and did not intentionally hurt each other. News highlights UMC founder Cao Xing Cheng is suspected of being a Chinese junior, and Su Kioxin suggested that he should deal with the private ethics dispute first. Wen Langdong, a famous mouth, broke the news that Su Kioxin's husband, Lu Yanli, the chairman of the Taichung City Government Research and Examination Committee, participated in the Texas Hold'em competition on his working day and questioned whether he had taken leave. Lu Yanli issued a statement to clarify, saying that he had taken leave to participate in the competition in accordance with the regulations, emphasizing that Texas Hold'em is a legal competition, and said that he would review whether he should avoid politicized discussions. News highlights the woman surnamed So was fined 3,000 yuan for not wearing a seatbelt in accordance with the regulations, filed a lawsuit, and said in the court that because of the large breasts, the normal system will cause chest pain and affect breathing, so she chose to wear a seatbelt from under the chest. The court ruled against her claim and dismissed her claim by finding that her plea was inadmissible and that the evidence showed that her seatbelt was not properly fastened and that it did not provide the protection it should have. News highlights artist Green Tea was accused of defrauding 500,000 yuan, and a female netizen revealed on Threads that she invested 500,000 yuan in a fried chicken restaurant because she had a long-term relationship with Green Tea and trusted the other party. Green Tea tells her that all the money she invested in the initial period has been lost and asks her to reinvest, but later she discovers that the fried chicken restaurant is actually making money and that Green Tea has not invested any money. When she asked for a refund of 500,000 yuan, Green Tea cut ties and responded on the grounds that she had no money. Other netizens broke the news that Green Tea still owes money, showing that it seems that not only this female netizen is implicated. News highlights 33-year-old artist Wang Delo was recently arrested on suspicion of evading military service, and the police carried out a case of obstruction of military service and arrested Wang Delo on the 18th under the command of the New Taipei Procuratorate. At present, Wang Delo is being interrogated and will be sent to the New Taipei Inspection Center in the afternoon. According to reports, Wang Delo was rumored to have evaded military service as early as 2015, when he was exempted from military service on the grounds that he had a student status at a science and technology management college. However, because he was busy with his acting career, he actually rarely went to school, which led to doubts that he was evading military service as a student. News highlights artist Wang Delo was recently investigated by the New Taipei District Prosecutor's Office on suspicion of obstructing military service, and the police conducted a search on the morning of February 18 and seized relevant evidence. At present, Wang Delo has been brought back for interrogation, and the case is still under investigation. It is understood that this case involves a number of men who evaded military service through fake medical certificates, and Wang Delo is one of them. More than 10 people have been involved in the case, and Wang Delo will be sent to the New Taipei Procuratorate for reinterrogation in the afternoon. News highlights on February 17, a Delta Airlines flight overturned while landing at Toronto's Pearson International Airport, with its fuselage reversed. The aircraft, operated by Endeavour Airlines, carried 76 passengers and 4 crew members and flew from Minnesota to Toronto. 18 people were injured in the accident, including 3 seriously injured. The cause is still under investigation and may be related to a snowstorm and high winds. The airport was briefly closed for 90 minutes and caused flight delays. Fortunately, all passengers and crew were safe. The investigation will be conducted jointly by Canadian and U.S. traffic safety agencies. News highlights Guangyang has dominated Taiwan's motorcycle market for more than 20 years, but its market share has gradually declined in recent years, and in 2024, it has fallen below 30%, and Sanyang's market share has exceeded 40%. Guangyang is facing internal contradictions and resource allocation problems, especially in the research and development of gasoline vehicles, which is affected by the investment in electric vehicles. Chairman Ke Shengfeng is trying to expand the Southeast Asian market, regarding Taiwan as a proof of concept and hoping that INX can accelerate its layout in Southeast Asia. Internal challenges and competitors are becoming increasingly powerful, which has become a key test for the future of Guangyang. News highlights: the Ministry of Environment and the Water Resources Department will soon launch the Transparent Freshwater River platform to enable the public to check the pollution status of the Tom Sui River basin in real time. Environment Minister Peng Kaiming said the ultimate goal is to make the freshwater river as clean as the Seine in Paris, and even accessible to the public. The platform will provide transparent monitoring of water quality and assist the central and local governments in tackling pollution problems. The Water Resources Department will carry out evidence-based management based on the monitoring data to improve water quality. News highlights: UMC Honorary Chairman CAO Xing Cheng was recently exposed to an affair 10 years ago, having an extramarital affair with a Chinese woman and leaving indecent photos. Whistleblower Xia Hanbing questioned whether CAO Xing Cheng's change of stance on both sides of the strait was because China was in control. In response, CAO Xing Cheng responded strongly, saying that the picture may be AI synthesized, and will file a claim against the disseminator. He stressed that the political attack should not involve personal privacy and stressed that the incident had nothing to do with the recall movement. Experts also point out that the photos may be deep fakes or AI generated. News highlights: at present, a large-scale wave of legislative recalls is taking place in various parts of Taiwan, and civic organizations in many localities have completed the joint petition and sent it to the Central Election Committee for inspection, and it is expected to enter the second stage in early March. Among them, Wang Hengui, a Kuomintang legislator in Taipei City's 3rd constituency, was also targeted by the recall group and carried out the first phase of CO signing. As for whether the recall is likely to be successful, most of the local people interviewed on the street at the scene expressed support for Wang Hengui, believing that she was doing things upright and could not succeed in the recall, unless the DPP used improper means. However, a small number of people expressed dissatisfaction with her budget cuts and other behaviors, and believed that she should be recalled. The recall group Mountain Elimination of Evil said that the second phase of the joint signature will be officially launched in early March, and it will sprint with all its might, so that the Blue Camp legislators will feel the pressure. News highlights: Ko Wenz, the former chairman of the People's Party, was detained in connection with the Jinghua City and political donation case, and Su Ziyu, a personal account man, became a key figure because she left the country quickly after the case. The prosecution believes that Hui's act of leaving the country may have been instructed by K and regarded her as an important witness. K Wenz once filed a protest, claiming that Su Ziyu was only a witness and that not returning to Taiwan would not affect the case, but the High Court rejected the appeal and maintained the detention. News highlights: famous Xia Hanbing broke the news on the 17th that UMC founder CAO Xing Cheng suspected that he had a tender little 3 in the mainland, and exposed a number of intimate photos. After analyzing it with ChatGPT, Zhang Yijin said that one of the photos may have been generated by AI, and pointed out that Xia Hanbing chose to cover the photos of key parts for analysis, and did not analyze other photos. Xia Hanbing responded that it would be more interesting if it was compared in court and certified by the court. CAO Xing Cheng responded that the photos could be faked, and stressed that he would sue the disseminators. Writers Yan Zia and Akio Yaita also raised questions about this matter, thinking that it may be a bureau. News highlights: a Delta Airlines plane carrying 80 passengers capsized as it landed at Toronto Pearson Airport on Monday afternoon, injuring 18 people, 3 of them seriously, including a 4-year-old. At the time of the accident, the airport was hit by a snowstorm and strong winds, and the plane was lying on the snow-covered tarmac with its belly up. The Canadian Transportation Security Agency, TSA, has initiated an investigation with the assistance of the National Transportation Safety Board of the United States. The accident caused the airport to be temporarily closed for 90 minutes and caused delays in ground operations. News highlights: after Liu Qiuan became popular due to the Sunflower Student Movement, he was involved in many controversies, including transnational prostitution, drug abuse, and possession of K-Tazamin, and absconded to the United States before the release of the wanted notice. She was also involved in sending a poisoned parcel of up to 1.5 kilograms of cocaine, which was arrested with the cooperation of Taiwanese and American police. In addition to the drug case, Liu Qiuan's past private life has also been the focus of the media many times, involving property disputes and relationships with wealthy husbands. She has been stranded in the United States since 2019, was arrested in Boston on January 23, and is now coordinating her repatriation to Taiwan. News highlights: NVIDIA intends to set up a new headquarters in Taiwan. The location has not yet been determined, and the county and city governments are actively striving for it. A well-known real estate market investor Handsome broke the news that NVIDIA's headquarters may be located in the Guangdong Great Plains in Taipei City, and said that only 3 people knew about it, namely President Li Qiang, Huida CEO Huang Zhengxun and himself. Huang has said that the headquarters will need a larger location, and said that he would choose a low-density building. The Ministry of Economic Affairs has disclosed the site's election conditions, including at least 3 hectares of land and low-density buildings. News highlights: celebrity husband and wife Ben and Su Xiok moved to Taichung last year for their children's education, and bought a Beiping mansion in Nantan district in October and named it Taichung White House. In order to settle down quickly, they urgently sold 130 pings of Taoshan in the new store in New Taipei, and finally sold it for 51.5 million. After evaluation, the couple decided that Taichung was more suitable for their children's growth and happily moved into their new home. Although the number of new homes is small, the transportation is convenient and the living functions are good, and the couple is very satisfied with the new environment. News highlights today, 18th. The mountainous areas of Greater Taipei and Yulan were affected by the cold air mass, with local light rain, and the temperature rose limited during the day, with a high temperature of about 16 to 19 degrees in the north and east, and 20 to 23 degrees in the central and southern regions. The night is low at 9 to 15 degrees, and it will still be cold tomorrow morning. The cold air mass weakened and temperatures rose from Wednesday, but there is still rain in the east and sunny or cloudy in the west. After the night on Thursday, the front and the cold air mass relayed, the northeast rain cooled down, the local low temperature can drop to 11 degrees, and the temperature difference between day and night is large. News highlights: after the outbreak of the Jinghua City case last year, K. Wen's personal tent Orange, Su Xiu, appeared at Songshan Airport on August 29 to prepare for departure, with a plumper figure and long hair. According to people familiar with the matter, Tangerine is involved in a number of suspected fraud cases, including KO's money management role and delicate power relations with other members of the People's Party. Tangerine, who has handled large sums of money and has been accused of illicit funding, is still playing a key role in the case even though she has left Taiwan, and prosecutors are still tracking her whereabouts. News highlights: the second-generation leader of the Bamboo Union Gang, Meng Huang Shaosan, passed away on the 4th of this month at the age of 75, and made his obituary public on the 17th. The funeral list this time is very different from the traditional model in the past, and I was surprised to see that Wang Jinping of the Kuomintang served as the honorary chairman of the committee, and K. Jianming of the Democratic Progressive Party served as the chairman of the funeral committee. The members of the funeral committee also included political and business leaders such as Wang Yanliang, Duan Yukang, and Heng Zaihuzu, president of Runtai Group, demonstrating Wang's deep relationship with the political and business circles. In addition, although he was predicted to be the successor by the outside world, Liu Zhenyi's, the successor of the Bamboo Union Gang, did not appear in the funeral list, which attracted the attention of the outside world. News highlights: Wang Dalu, who became popular for starring in My Girlhood, has shifted his career focus to China in recent years, but is currently involved in cases of military evasion. Today, 18th, after receiving the report, the New Taipei District Prosecutor's Office launched a search operation and found that Wang Dalu was suspected of evading military service. The police went to his residence in Da'an District, Taipei City this morning to conduct a search, and Wang Dalu was taken to the police station for interrogation, and will be transferred to the New Taipei District Prosecutor's Office for further processing in the afternoon. News highlights: recently, the Kuomintang launched a countermeasure to remove the Green Committee, but it caused controversy due to the disqualification of the reserve leader and the issue of copying the roster. Zhu Yuxin criticized the Kuomintang for cheating and revealed that he had joined the Kuomintang in high school and may have been copied from the roster. He accused the KMT of failing to strictly check and copying lists to the dead, and criticized the party's young people for not challenging the status quo and the overall disappointing chaos in its operations. News highlights: Kuomintang legislator Su Qiaoxin criticized CAO Xingchen's intimate photos storm, and political commentator Wen Langdong broke the news that her husband Liu Yanli skipped class to play Texas Hold'em. Liu clarified that there was a leave of absence in accordance with the regulations, and stressed that Texas Hold'em is a legal competition. However, Wen pointed out that even legitimate events can involve illegal activities and questioned whether they are related to fraud syndicates. Su Qiaoxin was criticized for being overly concerned about other people's private affairs, but ignoring her husband's behavior, which caused controversy. News highlights: Chinese YouTuber Sean's World TV broke out in a storm of infighting, and the two main members, Sean and Mr. Chen, announced the dismantling of the gang. Sean said that the cooperation with Mr. Chen broke down because of the difference in business philosophy and lifestyle, and revealed that the channel expenses were borne by himself. Mr. Chen accused Sean of loving Taiwan is all scripts, and released a critical recording of Sean's wife, saying that the content of the channel is ordinary, and some Taiwanese films are scripts, which has aroused heated discussions among Taiwanese netizens. News highlights: Japan's Ministry of Justice announced that from May, foreign spouses can choose Taiwan as their nationality when registering their household registration, a major breakthrough for Taiwanese in Japan. Senior Minister of the Presidential Office Si Chongting said with emotion that there have been countless efforts behind this achievement, especially thanks to the help of a Taiwanese son-in-law senator, Hu and several congressmen quietly promoted the revision of the household registration law and finally succeeded in correcting Taiwan's nationality. Xie Chongting looked back on the history that was not recognized in the past and was deeply moved by this change. News highlights artist Lin Juniong, Green Tea, was recently involved in a fraud storm, and a netizen who claimed to be his friend for many years broke the news, accusing Green Tea of defrauding 500,000 yuan in the name of investment. The netizen said that last year, Green Tea invited her to invest in a fried chicken restaurant, but after the flow of funds was questioned, Green Tea avoided talking about it and did not actually invest funds, but used the other party's 500,000 yuan to fill the financial gap. Green Tea responded that the investment has made and lost, and has returned 290,000 yuan, indicating that the two parties have signed a contract and are responsible for their own profits and losses. News highlights UMC founder CAO Xing Cheng recently led the removal of Kuomintang legislator Su Qiaoxin, but media person Xia Hanbing broke the news that he had a junior in China and made intimate photos public. CAO Xing Cheng responded that the photo was a composite and would sue the disseminator. Political commentator Wang Jimin retorted, pointing out that CAO Xing Cheng had ceased to be in charge of UMC since 2005, and stressed that China's junior had nothing to do with CAO, criticizing Lanying fans for overreacting to this. News highlights Wang Dalu, a 33-year-old artist, was recently arrested on suspicion of military service evasion and is currently under investigation. Wang Dalu became famous in the past with the movie My Girlhood and shifted his acting focus to the mainland. The incident attracted attention, and Wang Da's agent did not respond to questions from the media and only hung up the call. The police said that the case is still under investigation and that Wang Dalu will be sent to the new Taipei Procuratorate. News highlights artist Xiaoa was recently terminated by her agency due to continuous negative news, and the incident involved her revelations and scandals related to Dagan and other artists. Last year, she was accused of having inappropriate contact with a married man and was accused of being the whistleblower in the case of Dagan having a child out of wedlock. Recently, the girlfriend also revealed that Xiaoa broke the scandal between Hu Guo and the artist Song Yubeo, which caused the news to reach the ears of Wu Zongxian, the boss of the brokerage company. Wu Zongxian said that he had long ceased to manage the company's brokerage department, and the company decided to terminate the contract with Xiaoa. The agent also clarified that the contract with Xiaoa was originally only 1 year, and stressed that the termination was a peaceful end. News highlights artist Wang Dalu was recently arrested on suspicion of evading military service and is currently under interrogation. As early as 2015, Wang Dalu caused controversy because he did not continue his studies and entered the university to avoid military service. He once publicly stated that when the time comes, I will go to the army, but this incident has once again aroused the attention and discussion of the outside world, and there are constant doubts about his past evasion of military service. News highlights Sunflower Queen Joan Lau was recently arrested in the United States for drug trafficking. She had fled to the United States for fraud, drugs, and other crimes, and sent 1.5 kilograms of cocaine from the United States to Taiwan, with a market price of more than 10 million. Another internet celebrity, Toys, Liu Wujian, was also sentenced to 4 years and 2 months for drug trafficking and has been sentenced to prison. Gao Menjia was sentenced to 7 years and 6 months for trafficking amphetamines, and Hong Xiaoling was also prosecuted for money fraud and intimidation, showing an amazing case of drug trafficking and fraud in the artist circle. News highlights Gmail recently issued a red alert to its 1.8 billion users around the world to warn hackers against fraudulent methods to gain access to their accounts. Hackers use artificial intelligence to create fake calls and emails to trick users into believing that their accounts have been compromised, and direct them to click on fake Google websites and enter their account passwords. Once the victim is caught, not only the Gmail account will be compromised, but all platforms connected to the account will also be at risk. Information security experts recommend not clicking on suspicious emails or URLs to avoid data leakage or hacking. News highlights Su Nu, the daughter-in-law of well-known writer Song Jing-ai, recently accused her husband Lu Nan of being emotionally uncontrollable, violent, and smoking marijuana, and said that she was reprimanded after reporting to Song Jing-ai. Su Nu revealed that after marriage, Lu Nan was short-tempered, physically violent her, and showed photos of bruises and scars. She accused Song Jing-ai of seeing her son's misbehavior but did not actively intervene, but instead accused her. Lu Nan denied domestic violence and drug abuse, and counter-accused Su Nu of being the violent party, and said that due to the conflict in the marriage, it could not continue. The matter is in the process of divorce proceedings. News highlights in May last year, Blue and White joined forces to pass a parliamentary reform bill, which provoked confrontation between the government and the opposition and sparked the unconstitutional controversy over contempt of Congress. According to the Mirror Weekly, there are doubts within the People's Party, and Huang Shanshan has complained to K. Wenz, saying that it is impossible to reverse the situation of Huang Qiaoqing and the Kuomintang joining hands to amend the law. Wang believes that such discussions are a manifestation of the diversity of opinions within the political party, and responded that there is no need to deliberately provoke them. The People's Party accused the media of stirring up internal contradictions, describing the report as low-grade and unproductive. News highlights last year, the Ministry of Finance overcollected taxes by 528.3 billion yuan, triggering the KMT to put forward the idea of universal distribution of 10,000 yuan and called on the government to return the money to the people. According to an online poll, 72% of participants supported the policy, showing a strong public approval of universal cash. As for whether to repay debts first or general distribution, nearly 50% of people choose general cash. In response, President Li Qiang said that the excess tax will be used for social investment, including education, long-term care, and cancer funds. News highlights on the 17th, Taiwan stocks were driven by TSMC's rebound to the quarterly line, and the three major legal persons bought a total of more than 32.884 billion yuan, and the index once again stood above the average line. At the beginning of the market on the 18th, TSMC's performance was volatile, and electronic stocks such as Winbond, Nanyok, Damai, etc. continued to be strong, driving the index to fluctuate around 23,500 points. Fija led the rise of the computer equipment group, and drove related stocks such as Nexcom and Kingyun to rise. Acer's share price rose after announcing a price increase due to US tariffs, and the market expects other brands to follow suit. News highlights the cause of the explosion is unknown, and the industry speculates that it is related to the incomplete venting of gas in the decoration area. Although the natural gas company dismantled the meter, the gas in the pipeline was not well discharged, and gradually accumulated in the confined environment, which eventually led to an explosion. The air in the decoration work is not well circulated, and the materials emit toxic gases, which is not good for the health of construction workers, and the industry is calling for changes in the operation mode to ensure safety. News highlights as of February 14, the number of beneficiaries of Taiwan-listed ETFs reached a new high, reaching 10.41345, a weekly increase of 2,740. The number of beneficiaries of the 13 ETFs reached a new high, with high-dividend ETFs performing the best. CUNY Investment Trust pointed out that high-yield ETFs are suitable for long-term investment and depositors, and recommended that investors adopt a regular and fixed-amount method for diversification. Xiaming Zi, a fund manager, said that Taiwan stocks have economic and physical advantages, and it is expected that Taiwan stocks will maintain a trend of more in the future, and corporate profit growth is expected to reach 15% in 2025. News highlights a 30-year-old Japanese man was lured to Taiwan by Taiwanese for a high-paying insurance job, but after checking into a motel, he found out that the actual purpose was to send him to Cambodia to engage in fraudulent activities. The man fled after hearing Cambodia and called the police after sleeping on the street for 2 days. This case has become an international criminal case, which has attracted the attention of the police department, shocked Taiwan and Japan, and severely damaged Taiwan's image. News highlights the artist Green Tea was accused of defrauding 500,000 yuan by a female netizen on Threads, alleging that after she invested in a fried chicken restaurant, Green Tea informed her that the investment was all lost and asked for reinvestment, but later she found that the store was profitable and felt cheated. Green Tea retorted, saying that there was a contract with the woman, the store had not made money for 3 months, and the woman had not contributed capital, and threatened other shareholders. Green Tea has paid 250,000 yuan and provided evidence, and stressed that if the woman continues to act, she will consider filing a lawsuit. News highlights the follow-up handling of the gas explosion case of Taichung Shinkong Mitsukoshi department store was questioned as slow, and the municipal government required the removal of dangerous goods on the exterior wall before the 18th, and a fine of 300,000 yuan would be imposed if it was not completed. The city councillor questioned Shinkong Mitsukoshi for not applying for a renovation permit and not voluntarily accepting the city's inspection. The city government said that Shinkong Mitsukoshi has applied for renovation over the years, and last year the public security inspection passed, but it takes time to access the information. Shinkong Mitsukoshi admitted that there were defects, did not submit it for review as required, and did not attach a repair plan for the exterior wall after the explosion, causing a delay in repair. News highlights the Kaohsiung Water Supply Company announced that from 11 o'clock in the evening of the 21st, due to the replacement of the cone valve of the raw water pipeline, the water will be suspended until 6 o'clock in the morning of the 24th, and the water supply will be suspended for up to 55 hours, involving 13 administrative districts such as Alian, Quoto, Ziguan, Taishi, Rinyu, Fengshan, Zhouying, and Gushan, and about 487,000 households will be affected. In response to the water cut, stores have stored water, and lifestyle department stores have also found an increase in sales of large buckets. Some lieutenants have applied for temporary water filling stations, but the water company only provides 1 station and 1 water wheel, and the city government has reported the needs of the people to the water company and reminded the people to store water in advance. News highlights media person Xia Hanbing broke the news yesterday, 17th, that CAO Xing Cheng, the founder of UMC, was suspected of having an affair in China in 2015, and released an intimate photo with Xiao San, which quickly attracted attention. CAO Xing Cheng then issued a second statement, emphasizing that the photo was a composite and would file a claim against the disseminator. Ling Tao, deputy executive director of the Kuomintang think tank, said that the photo was too real and had been reported to the Investigation Bureau of the Ministry of Justice, and called on the government to intervene to identify whether the photo was synthesized by AI, so as to prevent the CCP from approaching CAO Xingcheng through women and posing a threat to national security. He stressed that CAO's past words and deeds are consistent with the CCP's position, and his national security risks should be thoroughly investigated. News highlights: after the Taichung Shinkong Mitsukoshi gas explosion accident, 4 people were killed and more than 30 people were injured. Many people came forward to help, and Taichung Mayor Liu Zioyan publicly praised 11 unsung heroes at a municipal meeting today. These heroes include 2 emergency nurse couples who witnessed an air explosion while on vacation and immediately participated in first aid and administered CPR. Another civil engineer was also involved in the rescue operation, helping to clear the debris at the site and ensure ambulance access. There were also police, volunteers, and other members of the public who assisted in directing traffic and evacuating crowds. In order to rescue a 2-year-old girl, a retired driver rushed to the hospital and risked a red light, showing the spirit of humanity. The city government today presented a certificate of appreciation in a red envelope to these righteous people to thank them for their heroic deeds. News highlights this morning, 18th, the baggage sorting system in the second terminal of Dawin Airport failed, resulting in a delay of more than 30 minutes for 6 flights. The airport company said information engineers are working on repairs to the system while deploying manpower to manually move luggage to reduce the impact. Luggage can be seen piling up at the scene, and passengers are anxious. The airport stressed that it will strengthen prevention to avoid the recurrence of similar incidents. News highlights: a 2-month-old baby boy in Nanzi District, Kaohsiung City, was suspected of losing his breath due to milk leakage, and his father was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment, and his heartbeat was restored for a time, but he died 10 days later. The hospital found that the baby boy had bruises on his legs, and reported to the police for investigation in accordance with regulations, and the police have reported to the prosecutor and conducted a re-examination, and will conduct an autopsy to clarify whether there was external intervention in the cause of death. News highlights: Kaohsiung City Police received a tip that a Vietnamese woman in a health club was engaged in prostitution. The police cooperated with the immigration department and seized 8 people, including 2 male customers and 6 waitresses, of which 2 Vietnamese women were overstaying on tourist visas. Daily cash and revenue statements were seized, and some waitresses were found to be involved in illegal sex trafficking. The person in charge and the cadres were transferred for investigation according to the crime of obstructing morality, and the other persons involved in the case were dealt with in accordance with the Social Security law and will be reported to the city government for administrative punishment. News highlights: Mauricio Umansky, the actor of the American reality show Beverly Hills Luxury Realtor, suffered a severe fracture while skiing in Aspen, Colorado on the 15th, and his collarbone was broken and needed to be fixed with 12 screws and metal plates. After the accident, the patrol took him to the hospital, where Umansky thanked all the rescuers who took care of him and shared videos of his injuries and photos from his hospital bed. He is known for his role as a property manager and his participation in shows, and has recently attracted attention for kissing female models and meeting his estranged wife. News highlights: Reuters reported that Baidu's founder Robin Li did not attend a symposium convened by Xi Jinping for the heads of private enterprises, causing Baidu's stock price to plummet nearly 7% and its market value to evaporate by $2.4 billion. At the meeting, business leaders such as Huawei, BID, and Xiaomi attended the meeting, while Ma Yun and others were present but did not speak. Investors have expressed concern about Robin Li's absence, fearing that Baidu may lose its leading position in the market. In addition, Baidu announced that its products will integrate the latest features of the AI model DeepSeek, showing that it is under increased competitive pressure in the AI field. News highlights: senior media person Xia Hanbing broke the news yesterday, pointing out that UMC founder CAO Xingcheng has a junior in the mainland, and released a number of intimate photos. CAO Xingcheng retorted that the photo was synthesized by AI and threatened to file a lawsuit. Xia Hanbing responded today, questioning why CAO Xingcheng did not refute it immediately after the incident, and stressed that if you want to prove that the photo is a composite photo, it should be resolved through the court. Xia Hanbing also pointed out who took the photos and how they were leaked, and stressed that CAO Xingcheng should explain his relationship with the woman and his behavior after returning to Taiwan. News highlights: Nintendo announced today, 18th, that it will establish Taiwan Nintendo Co., Limited in Taiwan and transfer its Taiwan business to the company from April 1, 2025. Nintendo said that the move aims to strengthen its business foundation in the Taiwan market, improve customer service quality, and continue to develop its business in line with the group's business philosophy. News highlights: Latin diva Shakira was hospitalized due to abdominal discomfort during her world tour in Peru a few days ago and was unable to perform on stage as scheduled, which made fans very worried. She posted on her social media account that the doctor advised her to rest, so she cancelled the performance that night. Luckily, after treatment, she quickly recovered and plans to reschedule her scheduled show. She thanked her fans for their support and love and will continue her tour, with the next show taking place in Colombia on February 21. News highlights actress Chen Yangzi and mainland actor Chen Xiao officially announced their divorce in 2024, ending their 8-year marriage. They married in 2016 and have a son, and the two have known each other since 2014 for their collaboration on The Condor Heroes, and announced their relationship in 2015. The news of the divorce was released simultaneously by the two on Weibo, and they said that they would accompany their son to grow up together. Previously, it was rumored that the two had separated, and Chen Xiao had blackened Chen Yangzi and other marriage changes, but the two parties did not respond positively. News highlights senior host Jian Yujun issued an article on the 17th alleging that he was stopped by police officers in the Zhongli service area when he was riding in a friend's car and was fined for not wearing a seat belt. Chin emphasized that he had fastened his seatbelt and speculated that the police officers were trying to rush for performance. The National Highway Police responded that the vehicle had left the parking grid 50 meters at that time, and it was necessary to wear a seatbelt after starting, and stressed that the ban did not need to be supported by a secret recorder, and if there was any objection, an administrative lawsuit could be filed in accordance with the law. News highlights a 21-year-old female model in Thailand was found in a hotel in Bangkok a few days ago, and the police locked on the mainland man Duo Ying as a suspect. The female model was hired to accompany him for 6,000 baht for one night, and the monitor showed that after the female model entered the room, she saw the man go out alone the next morning. The police investigation found that Duo Ying forced the female model to take drugs, which led to her death. The court has issued an arrest warrant and the family of the deceased has refused the client's offer for compensation for funeral expenses. News highlights at about 5:30 a.m. today, 18th, the baggage sorting system in the second terminal of Dawin Airport was abnormal, resulting in a large amount of luggage piling up and unable to be sorted. The airport responded that the problem was caused by abnormal signal transmission in the system and was being repaired. Although the check-in counter and X-ray system are normal, the back-end sorting part is supported by human labor. By 10:30 a.m., a total of 6 flights were delayed for more than 30 minutes due to baggage issues. News highlights Asia, an assistant to a city councillor in Kaohsiung City, had an extramarital affair with his wife Xiaoyu and exchanged ambiguous messages, and was sued by Xiaoyu's husband Xiao Cheng. Aja argued that he and Xiaoyu were just ordinary friends, and said that he was still learning how to deal with his relationship with voters. However, the judge found that the content of the conversation between the two went beyond the scope of ordinary friends, and ruled that Aja and Xiaoyu should compensate Xiao Cheng 200,000 yuan. The case is still appealable. News highlights with the rise of generative AI, the demand for high-speed computing, HPC, has surged, making silicon photonic CPO technology a key solution to break through transmission bottlenecks. This technology combines silicon photonics and optical modules to achieve high-speed transmission, low power consumption, and high integration, which is critical for AI servers and data centers. Companies such as TSMC, ASE, and Shangchuan play an important role in this field, and the silicon photonics CPO market is expected to reach mass production by 2025 and become the standard technology for AI computing. News highlights the Russia-Ukraine war has lasted for nearly 3 years, and with Trump returning to the White House, the United States and Russia will hold high-level talks in Saudi Arabia, but Ukraine and Europe have not been invited, causing international concern. European leaders convened an emergency meeting to underscore the importance of Ukraine's sovereignty and the need to ensure Ukraine's participation in peace talks. Despite the US push for peace talks, Ukraine's opposition has been ruled out, and the prospects for peace are full of uncertainty.